This is Tom, your host for the Hidden Truths channel. How's everybody doing this evening? Hope you're doing well. Hey, you want to see an awesome sunset? Yeah, look at that. Pretty cool, huh? That's what we'll be looking at through the program tonight. Anyway, tonight we're going to do our live stream on the collapse of our political system. Because when you got Hunter Biden out there giving an interview like he did, okay, well, obviously there's cracks in the system. So that's what we're going to discuss tonight. Anyway, as you can see, I got my camper finally to the farm. That's what I did yesterday, all day. It was a few hours away, but I had to go get it. I got her set up today. So anyway, underneath the awning, making my live stream. So it's always nice to get something done that's just been, you needed to get done for quite a while. And it's been egging at you, but you just weren't able to get all the pieces together to get it done. So anyway, that's what I did yesterday. That's why I didn't get no content out. Really didn't even watch YouTube yesterday. Sitting in the truck all day with another guy, and we actually did this thing, and we conversed and talked to each other. We didn't even have the radio on for, God, almost 10 hours. Isn't that crazy? People actually sitting talking to each other. Yeah, imagine if we did that, we'd actually maybe solve some of our problems. Anyway, yeah, isn't that a beautiful sunset? We are going to watch that sun go down. Get my grove all cleaned up and stuff. Some of this stuff I'm not mowing because I want to save for the rabbits and stuff, so they have some cover from the raptors and my dog and stuff. You know, I do like wildlife around here. So, and my dogs make sure that it's challenging for all of it. Anyway, let's get into this subject. The collapse of our political system, okay? Number one, we're going to cover a couple things with nobody believing the E-list doesn't exist, and you know, and to Hunter Biden doing his interview. Boy, that guy's got a potty mouth like he was a sailor. Oh yeah, he was a sailor, wasn't he? That's right. He got kicked out of the Navy for cocaine, wasn't it? Oh yeah. Boy, Hunter Biden's got an old potty mouth, doesn't he? But this is the thing. We got Hunter Biden doing a YouTube interview telling what's wrong with the Democratic Party. Okay, that's already an oxymoron in itself, but oh yeah. And you know, he's not worried about nothing. He got that pardon. You know, Joe Biden did sign his pardon. So, but how you guys liking that sunset? Pretty nice, isn't it? Too bad I can't zoom in when I'm doing live. But yeah, that's a nice sunset. Nice way to relax after you see all the news that's been going around today. But, you know, that just shows you that the Democratic Party is absolutely collapsing. Bear Berman, how you doing? Say hi. I just did say hi. Anyway, where are you from? That don't sound like an American name. I can't even pronounce it. I've never heard that name before. Anyway, but yeah, isn't that a beautiful sunset there? Tell you what, people that are here, hey, if you want to support the channel, I don't ask for money or donations or sell anything, but if you want to hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell notification, that would really appreciate it. Help this channel grow a little bit, you know. But let's get back to the political, the politicians losing control. This is what it is, okay? Nobody believes the politicians no more. Nobody does on either side anymore. I mean, like I say, with this E-list that they won't release, it's not just Trump supporters that are stupid and what do you call us? Weaklings and stuff. It's not just all us, but it's Democrats and independents that want the list to come out too. All right. all these people. And see, I'm talking about the E-list, and all of a sudden, YouTube algorithm sits there, catches it. So at least we know that the Democrats and the Republicans have one thing in common. Okay? The actual nastiness of them all, they're all equal at the bottom of the serpent pit, all right? And that's why all this information we give out, Darla, how you doing? Hi. Appreciate you being here. But we're realizing that everybody's realizing now it's just two wings of the same bird. Okay? This wing, the right wing, spends money the way they want to, okay, but they still go into debt, don't balance the budget. They just spend it on stuff that Republicans want. I'm not going to say conservative, because conservatives want a balanced budget. And then you got the Democrat wing of this bird doing the same thing when they're in charge, right? Where are you from? I'm out here in the Panhandle in Nebraska, about 12 miles from the Colorado border and stuff. But oh yeah, I'm out here on a farm enjoying life. I like the great outdoors. This is the thing, right? I'm out here in the middle of nowhere in counties that have less than 2,000 people in, okay? Really small counties population-wise, but not, really area-wise. And to see the stuff that goes on, I mean, this is flyover country, all right? So I'm dealing with politicians, when Hunter Biden gets on there and says this stuff, and some of it's true, I might add. You're from Jordan. Oh, well, that's a long ways away. I tell you what, in the Marine Corps, I was out in the Med, went down into Egypt and Israel, I was in Turkey and stuff, and down into the Indian Ocean, Somalia, Kenya, and stuff like that. But I never went to Jordan. So thank you for being here, Darla. Hope you're staying safe. Anyway, the world's definitely getting to be an unsafe place these days. And the thing is, I apologize to everybody. Do I like Jordan? I really don't know too much about it. But the thing is, what I want to say to you is, I apologize for our politicians making your life absolutely miserable. Okay? One day, I hope enough of us Americans get together and decide, hey, it's time to do something about this shit. Okay? It's bad enough that our government's ruining our lives, but there's no reason for them to go around the world and ruin everybody else's life. It's just the way I feel about it. I mean, we should stop, they always say we're exporting democracy, which we're not a democracy. No, we're just exporting all the problems we have in this country to other countries and, spread them out ways. But like I say, somebody's got to apologize to these people that are just like us, that go to work, raise a family, enjoy their kids, their grandkids, want them to have a better life than they did. That's just not something that's just Americans like, okay? Everybody all over the world wants to have it. And what a country could be maybe having a little problems, but their problems just get really big when the U.S. get into it and stuff. Do you like South America? Never been there either, but I like to go down there. If I could do whatever I wanted, I'd do a Marco Polo thing. Of course, you can't do that these days because you need passports and papers and stuff. But I would like to sit there and travel the world. Get on a container ship, go across the ocean, and just go from not ritzy places, but from the poorer parts of these countries. Get to know these people, help them out, learn their culture, work with them, do it for a while and stuff, and then move on to the next place. Get to learn, travel the whole world like that. Boy, wouldn't that just be the craziest thing if somebody did that these days? I loved other cultures. When I was in the Marine Corps and I went over the other countries, I never had a problem fitting into other cultures. I never went over to those other countries and said, oh, I'm an American Marine, we're the best and stuff. No. I went over to their countries and respected their culture, respected their people, and took a second seat in their country like I should have. You know, that's one thing the United States should do a lot in these countries is take a second seat. Not sit there and try to take the controlling seat. Hey, Tom, good to see you. Dave, oh, hey, how you doing, Dave? Good to see you. Yeah, last night I was moving my camper, so it took off late in the hour, later than I wanted to, and it was after 10 before we got back here, but I got this big old beast finally moved here, so that's one chore I am glad is done. Mark that off. Anyway, you know, like solving problems and fixing things, one thing our politicians don't do. But never had a problem, brother. You are carrying an arsenal. Only the suicide have problems with a man and a saw. Oh, I used to, my business I actually had a tree service. And I did really good. It's where I got to really hate money because all I did is spend money every day and people wanted money from me and stuff. And I couldn't find help. And, you know, this is the thing. A business is limited to their expansion by how much people they can get. Doing well. Spent the week getting my shipment on the train to Sweden and Norway. 700 cases of honey wine. You could have a party there, Dave, or what the hell's going on? I know a guy who lives in Wisconsin, right? When he goes home, he always gets a bunch of orders for cheese that he needs to get from there and stuff, and comes back with his truck full of cheese. Kind of like when the toilet paper shortage was going on, right? And people were leaving. Kano Tomas, say hi. Hey, how's it going? Tomas, yeah, that's my name, Thomas. Anyway, let's get back to the subject. Our politicians losing control. Okay, nobody's believing this narrative anymore about, well, there isn't no list. I mean, I've seen a few die-hard mega Republicans that are saying, haha, not to make it sell it across Eastern or Western Europe. Don't ship it to America because the tariffs are too high. Yeah. Like I say, Americans need to get their asses together. I'm going to say this so that the FBI can see me saying it out of, you know, my face saying it, so I'm hiding saying it. The American people need to get a frickin' act together and take our goddamn country back, okay? Because believe me, they're making it hard just on the average person here, okay? If they can sit there, import workers into this country, I work in agriculture, both farming and ranching. I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty or sweat and get dirty, but I'm sick and tired of competing with people from other countries, whether it be they're here legally or illegally. You know, they got all excited about 59 South Africans coming here to settle down and become American citizens. What about the 100,000+ South Africans that are here that I got to compete with to get a job? You know, they need to go. If American gas, hey, they get priority. If you got an American applying for a job, he gets the job before the foreigner. But we don't have that in this country no more. Okay, because I guess Americans, they don't want us picking the tomatoes, right? They don't want us working with the cows or working in the feedlots no more. It's got to be the only thing I can think of. In America, I got to sit there and take second seat to foreigners in the job field that I enjoy doing, okay? Yeah, I've had other jobs where I made a lot more money, but I was absolutely freaking miserable. Money doesn't bring you happiness. It just brings you convenience, okay? That's it. And since I'm not much on convenience, I'm kind of a simple guy, I don't need that shit. But anyway, yeah, I got to sit there and compete with foreigners. And the thing is, a lot of these foreigners get paid more than Whitey does. They sit there and say white privilege. Okay. I guess my white privilege must be being able for a white guy to get a job these days. Yeah, that's how bad it's getting. Anyway, but that's just part of Washington's disconnect. More and more people are waking up to what the hell is going on. Like I say, that no list thing is going to have repercussions. The Democrats should be dancing in the street because in 2 years they're going to have the House and the Senate. In 3.5 years they're going to have the presidency because of this shit. Because Republicans aren't going to come out and vote. And we're not going to come out and vote a Republican into office who it turns out to be worse than a freaking Democrat. Get $2,000 a week minimum each. You're talking about universal basic income? That's bullshit. Get rid of the foreigners. Put Americans to work. Okay, we don't need universal basic income. We need Americans working again. Because what you'll earn at a job will give you satisfaction, a purpose in life, and more money than you'll get on universal basic income. I mean, if you take money from the government, you're basically saying, I'm accepting living the lowest life possible in America. Okay? Hey, would you rather watch a tree grow or a Negro? I tell you what. Don't you just love fucking trolls? YouTube can't see that shit. Okay? YouTube can't see that shit. They can't see people when they leave me messages threatening my life or nothing. That's not non-safe atmosphere for me. Was it because I can defend myself and those pussies couldn't even beat up a butterfly? Anyway, this is what you deal with. Claude Guron, say hi. Anyway, I appreciate everybody being here. Like I say, I don't ask for money on this channel or donations, or this channel don't sell anything. Because the last thing I want to do is sound like an infomercial. But if you would help support the channel, hit that thumbs up, the subscribe, and the bell notification, that'll help dramatically. Even all you trolls out there. I want everybody to be able to come here. Okay? Whether you're a troll, I don't care. This is for everybody because we need to open up a conversation. But I'm hoping to get to the point where I can have these adult children come in here and have an adult conversation. Hey, man, hope's all good with you. Peace out. Not a problem. Have a great night. So beautiful view, I know. I tell you what, if you want some of my shorts, one of the latest ones, when the sunrise in the morning, you got to just watch the sunrise. I got videos of a full rainbow, being able to see both ends of that rainbow. Yeah, I got video of that. Yeah, you'd figure that'd get a lot of views on YouTube, but no, I don't get that. I mean, I got lots of unique stuff that people would sit there and wait for days to see. I just happened to be driving by and there it is. And I put it on YouTube for everybody else to enjoy. But, you know, they're all in cahoots with each other. And, you know, I may not always say stuff that everybody agrees with. You know why? Because nobody ever says it pretty much that I agree with. But, yeah, I think Washington's losing control. I mean, when you got Hunter Biden out there, I mean, are you kidding me? And then saying, oh, they shouldn't have got all excited when his dad flopped that debate because he was on some sleeping or whatever bullshit. Oh, my God. I mean, the stuff these people won't come up to try to cover their ass. But I mean, that just shows you right there. He's sitting there complaining about the Democratic Party, and then they always say he was such a great president. Really? Well, they said Jimmy Carter was a president too, right? Anyway, but they're losing control. Trump has fractured the party, the Republican Party. The Democratic Party is fractured. I mean, everybody can see that. Congress's approval rating is, I used to work in engineering when I lived in America. Engineering is being replaced with AI. Construction equipment is being automated. Farm equipment is also being automated. I'm glad you brought up that farm equipment, because I tell you what, these kids that I grew up with, I was a kid. We still use pitchforks and scoop shovels. But anyway, these guys are getting so freaking lazy. They want to sit in their damn house on their computer and run their tractor in the field. Okay? It's bull crap. What happens? Okay. What happens if your equipment gets plugged when you work in the field? It gets plugged with weeds. Who's going to notice that? What happens if one of your wheel bearings go out on one of your pieces of equipment and all of a sudden, I mean, all this shit that can go wrong with it. I mean, they already have it where it's just crazy, okay? Oh, yeah. But I can't believe that as a guy who gets sweaty, his hands dirty, I can't believe AI can take over my job. There's just no way. It's too much thinking, too much. I mean, there's just no way. Is being automated, yeah. But see, you can run the tractor, but like I say, you can fly a plane automatically, right? But what happens if you have emergency situation? Then human beings have to take over, okay? This automation is crazy. I tell you what, they go to automated vehicles. I don't know what happened to you, Dave. So Google's in here. Hi, Google. How you doing? Chased everybody away. I didn't get that message, Dave. They restricted it. So, I guess you'll have to sit there and say you're going to come here and do some harm to me, and they'll let that message go. So, don't know what to tell you. Haven't quite got YouTube figured out yet. Aircraft pilot is also being researched for automation. Yeah. But who the hell? Anybody wants to get into a car, an airplane, a tricycle that's controlled by ones and zeros? More power to you. I will not do it. I mean, they're making automobiles now that the steering wheel is not mechanically connected to the front tires. No. I don't think so. To me, that's just a bad combination. Remember how many years ago, it wasn't that long ago, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, was it? Where these people were saying they were going down the roads in their Toyotas, and all of a sudden their Toyotas started speeding up and they couldn't turn them off or nothing. I always say if they can make a car stop and pull over when the cops are chasing you, they can also make a car, if they want, go 150 miles an hour around the curve if they want to too. They can slow them down, they can speed them up. Robots for carpentry, electricians, and plumbing. How is a robot going to do plumbing? I mean, I don't know how you're going to get a robot to start, underneath the toilet or underneath the sink, putting PVC pipe and stuff together, putting the glue and stuff on it. I don't see how that can happen. Just like in ranching. Okay, when I have cows, I'm moving cows or whatever, sorting cows in a corral. A cow sees a human being, another living creature. Okay, they send robots out to do that. That cow's going to drill that son of a bitch into the ground, because that cow's going to know that thing is no more alive than that fence it goes through. All right, but I could see robots for carpentry. Well, let's just say carpentry isn't like it was. I took woodworking in high school and stuff. I took industrial arts all 6 years in high school, 7th through senior. Learned how to make house plans, build a house, make all my furniture, I like having that skill. New Chevys use an Android platform from 30 years ago. Easily, someone can hack your car easily. That's yeah, I know. I'm telling you, you're gonna drive a car where you're not in control. Do you think I would get on a horse that the horse was in control? Are you kidding me? That's just headed for disaster. Tesla is testing automated semi trucks in Germany, but there has to be a driver in the truck to take over in case of emergency. Yep. The thing is, okay, driving a truck, you're going to take over an emergency, right? Well, or in order to take over an emergency and do a good job at it, you got to be good at just normal driving. I mean, if the truck's driving down the damn road for 500 miles, you're just kind of dazing off and stuff. All of a sudden, you got to jump to action. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, if you're going to have a driver in the truck anyway, then have the driver driving the damn truck. Hi, Darla. I mean, this automation and AI just making people dumber. I mean, I still don't understand why you make our kids dumber and machines smarter, but that's the world we live in these days, okay? But yeah, this AI, they're going to have to go to universal basic income because nobody's going to have a job. So he's saying all these companies are going to be making so much more money at AI that they're going to be able to pay all these taxes to give us universal basic income. I mean, how the hell is all this shit going to work? And then what about the people in the world just want to work? Some of us don't have a problem going out there, getting our hands dirty and earning our money. Makes us feel good at the end of the day. Some of us don't like living off our neighbors or rich billionaires. I don't want a rich billionaire to give me money just because he's a rich freaking billionaire. It's no different than I want some, average guy to give me money. What the hell's the difference if he's rich? How he got rich, I can't stop that. But if he's, there's also good billionaires out there. So if you're going to lump all them in together and punish all of them, in Ukraine, we're using automated robots from China to build drones for the war. Yeah, well, pretty soon it's going to be damn robots fighting a war. And it's whoever has the most. It'll be a wars of attrition. And then they're going to make these computers so damn smart. These, anyway, okay, look at this. Robots, train them to be, ground pounding infantry and stuff. What are you going to do with them when the war? Dogs that are armed to police the people and stuff? Anyway. All I know is with all this automation, when it goes down, and all automation eventually goes down, a lot of people in the world are going to be hurting bad. So anyway, well, I tell you what, YouTube really slams down on me pretty damn hard. I tell you what, when they, trying to get a message out sometimes. Can you imagine a minister if he wasn't allowed to get his message out? Everybody's feeling that their voice aren't being heard. It's just amazing. You're hearing more griping against Trump now being done by people like me, constitutional conservatives, than you are Democrats. And then in the higher ups, the Democrats and Republicans are all, hey, everything's fine. Anyway, whatever. This is the world we live in. But don't worry. They ain't fooling nobody no more. And, Hunter Biden definitely got out there and spoke his mind, didn't he? Whether he, no cocaine in the White House. Remember that? There's cameras that capture every inch of that White House. But they couldn't see who put cocaine in that drawer, right? Then again, our Secret Service couldn't find that, couldn't protect Trump. I mean, does anybody see that people out of Washington are basically worthless, incompetent, and all they do is make your life more miserable? And it costs you more money to be more miserable every day? I'm a white African American black man. Anyway, I don't even know what that means. I'm a white German Irish American. But you know, this way to divide us. And then another way to divide us now is who believes the list exists and who didn't. But I tell you what, watching those people that basically worship Donald Trump. Oh, we believe in the plan and stuff. Kids at this moment right now are being kidnapped off the street to be sold into sex slavery because Donald Trump won't do his job paying Bondi and Cash Patel. Right now, as we speak, getting kidnapped, yanked off. Hey, never going to see anybody you ever knew again. And you're going to be... But that's okay with them, right? Biggest story of the century. And like I say, they're acting like this is all new news to them. Bullshit. Epstein got arrested in 2019. You had all this shit back then. Hey, there's my beauty. Yeah. I wonder where Kyle was at. Probably hasn't come out of the barn yet. Yeah, that's my beauty. But yeah, kids are being kidnapped right now. Sold in sex slavery all over the world. Biggest story of the century. Biggest crime. Millennium. And everything's just fine. Nothing to see here. Anyway, that is my beauty. She's an awesome horse. Anyway. But that's what we get to deal with today. And if you speak against it, you shut up. You told you stupid. You're a weakling. Weakling. Yeah, we are weaklings. I'll agree with that. Trump was right. We are stupid and weaklings because we're stupid enough to let them do this to ourselves because we're too weak to stand up to them. A bunch of alpha and sigma males are too weak to stand up to a bunch of piece of shit beta males. Just because we're, like people are convinced the dollar's still worth something, I guess we're still convinced that we aren't in the right if we sit there and do something about this. But like I say, you don't have a pretty horse. Well, that's fine. I don't care. You probably don't have a horse at all. Anytime you sit there and say Black Beauty, go out to the fence and give it an apple and walk back in the house. No, she's pretty special, my beauty is. It's one hell of a cow horse. And when stuff gets stupid autocorrect. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I know. Yeah, that's I have a problem with that. When I do my YouTube does whatever it can to interfere with me trying to download a video. And I'll get videos, I'll be download them, and I hate that auto spell. Maybe some of us actually know how to spell words. Unlike people like that one lady who made a video where she said she had a 4-year bachelor's degree and she's working in a cubicle and she can't spell, but she uses auto check, but she graduated college. Like people that graduate college that don't know who we won our independence from or can't add 2 + 2. Need I say people that play sports? But anyway, another thing we live in. But I sure appreciate everybody being here. But yeah, crazy times. I just, the more and more they open their mouths up now in Washington, everybody knows they're lying their asses off. And they're using all these distractions to cover up it. Obama needs to be in jail. Okay, I agree with that. But for what thing is he going to go to jail for? For the death of his cook, mysteriously, that never got investigated? For that? For becoming a president and not being an American citizen? For that? For his pizza and hot dogs from Chicago? Is that what he's going to get arrested for? No, you want him arrested, Trump, because you're pissed at him because he tried fucking you over. Well, you always said that Trump, you were between them and us. They want to get through you first. Well, obviously they got through you now, didn't they? I thought no one ever knew about that. Yeah. What, he went kayaking, what was it, naked, 3 foot of water in a pond, and he was an excellent swimmer? I mean, just like anything that comes out of Washington, I suppose it's plausible, especially when that's the only story we get, and we just have to accept that as that's what happened, but whatever. Anyway, but yeah. What's he going to go to prison for? All this distraction. The thing is, nothing's going to happen. See, they were hoping this E-list shit would go away. And people would say, okay, they're happy they got Trump in. Let's get our our pocketbooks a little bit better. And people will forget about all the evil that these people are doing, right? We're in a secret war. Nothing is as it appears. Nothing. No, nothing. And a lot of people, like I say, you got the people that can't see it, the people that don't want to see it, and then the rest of us prepare for what we see, okay? And I'm in the prepared thing, okay? I'm not ignorant to know what's going to happen with these people. This shit can't go on. There's no way human society can exist on the plane that it's on right now. Our kids are not getting educated. So therefore, if our kids don't have a future because they don't have a future, then obviously, okay, just think of all of us Gen Xers and baby boomers and I'll even say millennials. What are you going to do when we're all gone? Who's going to be building your roads? You're going to have AI do that? You're going to have AI doing everything? Wiping your ass? Obama married a dude. Well, we'll all see the truth come out. We know, is he Big Mike or isn't he Big Mike? There's a couple deals of the truth everywhere. There's my Kiowa. There's Beauty in Kiowa. Kiowa, he's in the back. He's my black and white paint. He is retired. He is my retired cow horse. Got thousands of miles on him. He was so great, I could be in a box canyon, shoot my rifle off of him, and he wouldn't even flinch. Not even flinch. But he's retired now. It sucks not being able to ride him. That's one thing, horses are different than dogs. Because especially when you're a cowboy, they're your partner. I mean, that's your work partner. So, looks like a good place for a horse to retire. Must be in, no, I'm actually in Nebraska. But yeah, it's good. But Montana would be a little bit better. But yeah, we're out here. Still cowboy country. We like to call this part of Nebraska and the Panhandle. We like to call this Eastern Wyoming. So I got some awesome shorts off guard, old guard. Hey, you would happen to have been in the military during Ronald Reagan years, would you? But anyway, I got some good shorts on this channel about up in the northern part of the Sandhills in the pasture ground and stuff. This is farming ground down here. So, like I say, I work for farmers and ranchers. I kind of travel around and stuff. So, but I don't want to sit there and waste my time and go into the same building every day and just so I can sacrifice my time to give to the politicians so they can spend it foolishly. Okay. I'll stay in the poverty level. I'll earn my money. I'll never get anything from social services. Screw that shit. You have now. Oh yeah, I'm a cowboy. At 40 years old, 39 it was, I was going through a divorce and my wife and I weren't going to get back together. So I always wanted to be a cowboy. So I went out to by the Miracle Mile and stuff in between Alcova and Independence Rock. And I went out there and learned how to rope and ride. And I already knew about cattle and stuff, but obviously working cattle on the open range and the horse is, different. And yeah, first I knew how to work cows in a corral and stuff, but on that horse and stuff out there in those pastures and stuff, it's just different. There's skill to it, okay? Definitely skill to it. I mean, you can get killed in a second on a horse. So usually people that get killed on horses fall off. They're not bucked off. So the horse falls on them or whatever, accidents. But even a good cowboy, if he hasn't got bucked off in a while, he hasn't ridden the right horse yet. Oh, you just get better at it. You get used to it. You get some ornery horses and stuff, and they kick up a shit fit and stuff, and I don't know, it's just no big deal. But then again, that's with a saddle on with stirrups. They don't get the weight off the bottom of your feet off the stirrups, and you're fine. So, but those bunking broncs and stuff, I'll never get on a bull. I'm definitely not that nuts. I've worked in feedlots and saw those guys when they're in their late 30s after they've been riding bulls. Okay, that's almost worse than a boxer. They'll be messed up. Hey, they got some balls. I ain't gonna take that away from them. But you'll never see me getting on a mean ass bull. Shit, you get on them, so you get on a bucking horse, right? You get bucked off. Horse just runs the fuck away. Most of the time. This got a real asshole horse that does it on purpose, then stands there and stares at you. But anyway, getting on a bull, that's a different story. Because when he gets you off, he's gonna want to pound you in the ground. And that be nice to you. So anyway, no bull riding for me. But anyway, I love being a cowboy. Another feather I can put in my hat, like being a Marine. It's always in you. And then gathering the cows where you're getting all hot and stuff, and the horse is sweating, you're sweating. And then you start moving them, you trail them, and you're walking, and Ricky's got icicles hanging off his nose, and you're cold and stuff. Yeah, suffering like a cowboy too. But it's a blast. It's a blast. But where do we all live? Flyover country. Anyway, we'll never let it go. We don't get sunsets like that in most places. Yeah, I know. Isn't it beautiful out here? Like I said, I got so many natural video shorts I got on my channel, from end of the rainbow to a sunrise. That's crazy. It was red. The whole everything was red. I woke up, saw it coming out of my window, looked outside, I was like, I gotta get a video of this. Yeah. So and then the lightning storms we got, that I got some video of that. The only place I've ever seen lightning storms like that, and you didn't see the lightning. It was like a strobe light going off in the sky nonstop for hours. Yes, I've seen quite a few of your shorts. Well, thank you, old guard. Yeah, But see, I try to entertain too. Okay, I'm an upset Marine that wants to sit there and fix a problem, and I want to make this country free. Remember, I took an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And it don't matter what political affiliation you are, we all have the same enemy. It's called the U.S. federal government. Okay, that's just the way it is. Anybody who thinks that it ain't the same two wings of the same bird, fucking the American people over basically the same way. It's just they get to choose which ones are going to win that 4 years and which ones are going to lose. And in the 3.5 years when the Democrats are in charge, because there's no list, right, Trump? Well, you Democrats get to pick who the winners are, and the rest of us get to lose. See, I love this. Since we live in a democracy now instead of a constitutional republic, depending on who the president is depending on if you're the wolf or the sheep. But now we're finding out it doesn't matter who the president is. If you're just an average smo in this country, no matter how you vote it, you're the sheep. I mean, you wouldn't let your neighbor steal from you, or it's stealing. Okay, spending our money on America and Americans, I wouldn't feel as stealing. By sending all this money overseas, foreign aid and shit, NATO, the United Nations, bullshit. That's stealing from us. Flat out stealing. None of that shit benefits Americans at all, except making us work. And we're sending more money to Ukraine. Can you go out and get another job, please? We really need you to go out and get another job so you can pay more taxes. Yeah. I don't think so. I mean, I'm hoping that the average person is waking the fuck up. Like I said, I like to see some Democrats on social media screaming. Release a list, Donald Trump. Why can't they bash him? They bash him every other time. They bash him for not doing what he says. Well, let's bash him for not doing what he says. Can us stupid, weakling conservatives that voted for him be helped out a little bit by you strong, smart, liberal Democrats? Boy, I never thought I'd hear myself say that shit. It's just going to take for everybody to realize we're all in the same freaking boat. Okay? And like I say, as we're speaking now, how many kids all over the world got abducted just in the short time we've been talking, to turned into sex slaves or sacrificed because we're not allowed to know about these people, because the world would just fall apart and crumble into the dark ages, because now they're too big to fail and they're too big to jail. Welcome to the new Twilight Zone called the world. But you better wear your seatbelt. Anyway. But yeah, isn't that a beautiful sunset? I tell you what, if that big city shit comes out here, we will solve it. All right? People out here don't mess around. Isn't that not beautiful or what? All I need is a campfire in front of me. That'll be in a bit. I didn't get all that put up yet. I was busy cleaning my camper out and stuff, getting it so I could chill out in it again. Anyway, now I got a house and a house on wheels. Anyway, but yep, politicians are losing control. And people are getting tired of being treated like they're stupid and they're supposed to expect or believe these explanations that are coming out from our politicians' mouth, or Elite's mouth. Well, we're not doing it no more. We're not doing it more. Not no more. You know, we're not dumb. We're observant. Like I say, Trump knew about all the evidence when he was as president last time. And that's why he ran on releasing the list this time. But like I say, whoever convinced him the list don't exist, whatever they showed him or told him or explained to him why the list don't exist, and somehow Trump got delegated the responsibility to convince all of us that the list don't exist, it's just not working for us, Trump. Okay? But then again, if you showed us the information that they showed you or the talk you got, well, then there'd probably be a bunch of more crimes that got, the old can got taken off that can of worms too, huh? Catch you later. Gotta go now. Hey, thank you for being here, old guard. Appreciate it. Appreciate everybody being here. Like I say, if you want to help support the channel, I don't sell nothing or ask for donations. I'm not an infomercial. But if you want to hit the thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, help the channel grow, get the word out. Like I say, it's a channel for everybody. Okay? Titanic sinking. I don't care what your political affiliation is. Green-eyed bandit. You should go talk to him in person. Maybe he can talk some sense into him. Hi. Why talk to him in person? He sees this. How many YouTubers and I'm sure on other social media are saying the same thing? I don't know on True Social or whatever, but all you got to do is go to social media. The thing is, he knows he's fucking lying. Me going to say something doesn't mean shit because the people that told him to keep his mouth shut are a hell of a lot more with assumed the illusion of power over him, okay? But then again, if he was the actual president and served the American people and the American people were the boss, we'd have got the list. But I guess I hope he is watching this. Well, I know YouTube's watching it. But see, if I go there let's say I go there to talk to him, well, I'd be censored. They'd throw me in a fucking soundproof booth so he couldn't hear what I had to say. Because they'd have to keep some way from me getting to say what I want to say. You know, you got to give the YouTube treatment. All these social media platforms. Yeah, we're going to allow you to speak, but we're just not going to allow anybody to hear you. And I'm not saying the ones that don't want to hear me need to listen. But there are plenty out there that do want to hear. And I got the analytics to prove it. And I finally found the social media guy that made money off of social media. And he looked at my analytics and said, something's a little weird here. You think so? But don't worry. I'm a stupid weakling, right? Anyway, this is what the American people have to put up with. I'm so ready to solve this. We need a leader. We already got our you know, our government's supposed to protect our God-given rights, okay? And the government isn't even protecting our children, their right to exist. Actually, they're the ones that are impeding it, you might say. You think he's on the list himself or he's covering up for his partners. Okay, this is whether he was on the list or not, he's still guilty. Why? Because when this all came out in 2019, the pictures were coming out, he said he distanced himself from Epstein because he knew Epstein wasn't on the up and up, da-da-da. So Trump knew what the hell he was doing. But he did nothing about it. He was complicit with the crime, and the crime continued to go on. Even through his presidency for 3 years. First presidency for 3 years, right? Well, they can come for our guns all they want. It ain't going to work, Greyhound Bandit. Okay? Don't ever give your gun up. You know, they did that Lexington Concord. That'll be whatever it's going to take. Will that be the straw that broke the camel's back? Yeah, we got all these college-educated brainiacs in charge of us in our country, and they don't even know what the phrase shall not be infringed means. Anyway, like I say, can we go back to the freedom that Americans had in 1789? Can we go back to them days? People always say, what are you free not to do? Well, it depends on your frame of reference. How freaking far back we going? Since yesterday? Well, I don't know. I haven't heard the news yet. In the last 249 years, a fucking hell of a lot. Like I say, the Constitution only passed by 2 votes. And after they got done partying, after they ratified the Constitution, the next day, all the people that voted against it were doing what they could to undermine the Constitution. And this is how much they've accomplished in the last 249 years, to where we're not even a constitutional republic now. We got a democratic democracy or a Republican democracy. Which one do you want? I want my constitutional republic. You know, that's the thing with a democracy doesn't have set rules. The democracy's set rules are by whoever the majority is at that time. In a constitutional republic, no, it's not that way. The rules are the same no matter who's in charge. They don't teach government no more. They don't teach how privileged American citizens have been and how much we just thrown that all to the wind for convenience and hey, I'll give up a few of my freedoms for convenience and, you know, a better life. Where's Sleepy Joe when we need him? I don't know. You know, at least with the Democrats, they sit there and tell you when they say they're going to do something, they do it, okay? There's no fucking doubt about that. But, you know, we got candidates that got elected president and said they were going to do some shit and they haven't done shit. And then with the illegals, oh, well, now we're going to sit there and we need them on the far. Like I say, I have to compete with these fucking people. We need them here to pick our tomatoes and stuff. Fuck that. You know what? If Americans are too lazy to pick their own food, then Americans should starve. Just following like Rome. We all need to be treated like we're damn. Everybody who comes in here is here to serve Americans. That soft ass life. Anyway, but yeah, that's another thing with the illegals. Amnesty for the ones we need to work in the farms and the hotels and in the restaurants and stuff. How many Americans are fucking having to compete against these pricks because you won't kick them out? And then you want to bring more legal workforce here from other third world countries to give me more competition. There are places here that will not hire Americans. They'll only hire foreigners in agriculture because of the way the government's got it set up where they are getting benefited from hiring these foreign workers off of my tax dollars. This is another thing, government. When you bring all these people here to take our jobs and we can't pay taxes no more, I mean, I need to make money to make a living, right? Anyway, I enjoy doing agriculture, but I'm sick and tired of hearing how we need these people here because we got lazy ass Americans that are too afraid to get hot, sweaty, cold, or whatever. You get their fucking hands dirty. Be uncomfortable, get their hands dirty. And they don't know the rewards of it afterwards. Whatever. Anyway, I've been going an hour. I'm going to get out of here. But yeah, that was a beautiful sunset we all watched, wasn't it? Anyway. Yeah, times are crazy. Washington's losing control. People are getting restless. People are getting pissed. People are feeling like a commodity to the U.S. government. Something they can bargain. You use it. And that's the note I'll leave on. And I can't wait to hear what we have, to see what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Maybe Hunter Biden will sit there and Hunter Biden, a man who should be sitting in prison, if not on death row, okay, for the shit he's done. I guarantee you, he's on the E list. But anyway, I guess we'll never know because there was no client list. So obviously there was no victim list, right? Anyway, everybody have a great night. This is Tom with Hidden Truths. I'm out of here.